Hello everyone, welcome to Super Coaching UPSC by Textbook. As you see, you have seen a word called as Deccan traps. You might heard about it n number of times. It has a significant understanding in terms of geology. It's also the reason for some of the dinosaurs being extinct in India. Overall, we can say that Deccan traps is about the volcanic world. Now let us decode about what is this volcanic world, how it is significant for us, what are the things which you need to remember for our UPSC preparation, and understand the geological nature of this Deccan traps. As you can see here, this is the picture of the Deccan traps which you see in India spanning across a vast region, be it the region of Gujarat, especially in the northwest India, be it the regions of the Gujarat, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, even in certain parts of the Karnataka regions and some parts of Andhra Pradesh. Now, if you see about these Deccan traps, so what are these Deccan traps? These are nothing but one of the largest volcanic features on the earth, taking the form of a large shield volcano in west central India. So these are large scale volcanic igneous landforms. Volcanic igneous landforms. By the way, you do know why do you think that they are named as Deccan traps or something like Deccan stairs? So Deccan is part of the plateau here, Deccan region, or in general as South India, right? So when you talk about this South India here, the traps are mentioned like a stair-like cases, step-by-step like cases. Those are what you call it as Deccan traps. Now, why do you think that we have these stair-like cases, step-by-step cases? That's what we'll decode now in terms of their formation. So, if you see their location, they're located in all these areas, with the regions of Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, parts of Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh as such. You will see that Deccan traps have been significantly found here. They are very significant for our minerals, for our agriculture as such. Before we discuss that, let us understand their formation. So when you try to understand their formation, as we are saying that Deccan traps are volcanic landforms where they are part of which we call it as shield volcano. Shield volcano. They are part of something called as fissure type volcano, fissures, right? And we also call them as flood basalts. Why do you think we call them? Because they are associated with hotspot volcanism. What is this, my dear? Hotspot volcanism. Have you heard this word hotspot volcanism? Anyone? Let me see the comments. Anyone? Let me see the comments here. Have you heard about anything about the hotspot volcanism? Anyone can you mention me about what is hotspot? Can you mention what is hotspot? Let me see. Okay. Right. So if you see here, hotspot volcanism, let me explain that. In the intraplate, within the plate boundaries of the Earth's crust, you do find volcanism sometimes whenever there is hot areas underneath the Earth's surface, which we call it as mantle plumes. You see that there is something here called it as mantle plume. Imagine there is a big landmass. We also that imagine this is a plate. Okay, this is another plate. Usually volcanism is associated with at the plate boundaries, right? What about the center of the plate? Say here, right? So this is at these places, what happens? Underneath the Earth's surface, imagine here, there is significant amount of heat, maybe because of excessive radioactive concentration or whatever. You do find that there are certain areas which are having excessive heat. And from these excessive heat, through a pipe-like structures within the solid magma, layer, you do find that the magma would be rising. As the magma would be rising, say example, as the air magma rises here, it will reach to the top of the Earth's surface, and as it reaches the top of the Earth's surface, right, you will see that it will be having a significant impact, because here it will be start eroding, it will be start melting the entire crust, and through the crust it will try to create a volcanic landform. Such kind of volcanic landforms usually they don't erupt like a volcano which we see in a regular way, where there is mass eruption of lava, magma, things like smoke, dust, all the things into the atmosphere. What you find here actually is, it's about, it's like a small, imagine how does the water flows in a normal pipe. When you open the pipe of your, when you connect your pipe to your, from the, say for example, from the tap towards the garden, imagine how the water gently flows. The lava flows in such a gentle way. Those are what we call it as fissure type of lava. You can see here. Usually when you say volcanic eruption, you associate things like this, no? Right? Where you find lava pouring out, something like a fountain, but that is not the case. Well, actually lava pours is like a, there can be a very single eruption, or there is a multiple eruption which can flow like this. These are very, very liquid, fluid. They are not very thick. So what happens is they actually travel a lot. They don't solidify relatively very quickly. So you see that the lava erupts like this and they travel a lot like this. And such kind of things you can see here. And as the rising plume, where there is more heat, as it has risen, it has created some kind of volcanic landform. Then over a period of time, what happened was, the plate boundary, come back to the topic here, plate boundary, we are here, the plate is in motion, but the point where the volcano is rising, that is not in motion, no, it is only moving upwards, it is not moving horizontal. Inside, they are rising to come upwards, but not within the interior of the earth, they are not traveling anywhere. So, when the earth was, when the India was part of the southern hemisphere, as part of the southern hemisphere, here in Indian Ocean, we have something called as Reunion Island. And from the Reunion Island, what have you observed was, you have seen that there is a significant amount of hotspot volcanism which has occurred at the Reunion Island, say around 66 to 70 million years ago. When India is part of the plate tectonics, Indian peninsula was part of the southern hemisphere. We are still yet, the Himalayas were not yet formed. When the western part of India came in contact with respect to these hotspot volcanisms in the Indian Ocean, that is where you will find the Deccan traps. That is where you will find that this lava got spread across the entire region. When you have discussed about the black soils of India, do you remember? We used to write this word. They are the reason for basaltic lava sheet, flood basalts. The Deccan Plateau is a basaltic lava sheet. What is basalt? That is a rock which is associated with the igneous variety from the oceans. So it is started from the ocean, that's why they are called basalt. Why are you calling it as lava sheet? Because it spreads. The nature of such hotspot volcanism is, it will spread like anything. It spreads. As it spreads, it creates layer by layer. And those layer by layer vast deposits, accumulations of lava, are what we are calling it as Deccan traps. Deccan traps are nothing but staired cases, one layer over which another layer, right? You can see the multiple layers of cheese on a pizza, right? Just like that, you see one layer over another layer, you have lava which got accumulated for so many years. That is what we call it as Deccan stairs or Deccan traps. And this Deccan traps, because it got impacted around 66 to 70 million years ago, it was a significant geological environmental event back then. When this Deccan traps have been formed in this part of the world and it has evolved across the regions, it led to mass extinctions of dinosaurs. That's the reason why they say that Deccan traps are one of the reasons why mass extinction of dinosaurs happened. So there is a significant study of what event happened back then. So the fossils indicate something about such kind of things. And why are you learning about all these concepts? The whole idea of learning all these concepts is to understand about the minerals of this region, to understand how it is utilized and useful for us. So have a first background about the formation of this basaltic lava sheet of Deccan traps. Simple. There are places where there is more heat in the interior of the earth. Because of that more heat, just like how do you find convective air currents on the earth's surface, you see that magma is also rising from the deep interior. As it rises deep interior from the mantle from the regions of mantle, it is rising like a thing to the earth's surface. And to the point where it hits the earth's surface, it will, what do you do? It will kind to slowly, it will melt the entire crust. Then slowly the lava starts erupting. When the lava erupts here, usually it spreads because it is highly liquid. It is not having any kind of viscous material of mud and all such kind of things. Because it is pure lava flowing out, it is highly liquid, it can travel for longer distances. As it can travel for longer distances, that is where it will create the basaltic lava sheets. Now you might ask me, why not it will happen anywhere? It depends on where you will find the interior of the earth becoming very, very hot. That's the reason why it is creating a chain of events. You can see this picture. The lava has risen. It created a chain of volcanic features on the earth's surface, but the plate is in motion, no? What is plate? The first few kilometers of the earth's surface. That is motion. In motion, it is moving. As it is moving, you will find that when India was part of the southern hemisphere, which came in contact with respect to Reunion Island in the regions of Indian Ocean, is the reason why you find that features. And now India is part of the northern hemisphere because of the plate movement, because this event happened around 60-70 million years ago. This is how the Deccan traps were formed. So what do you remember? They are simply, Deccan traps are large volcanic landforms taking the form of a large shield volcano in the northwest India or the west central India. These are volcanic igneous form. And when you talk about the nature of the volcanoes, they are mostly like shield volcanoes where the liquid or lava is very fluid. It easily travels. It is not mixed with mud and all, where it will frequently, it cannot travel further. Why do you think that the fountain is created in some of the landforms like this? Why do you think these kind of structures are created like this? The lava cannot travel here. It solidifies. So hence it creates a mountain-like structure or a fountain-like structure. Whereas that is not the case here because it is easily traveling. Then what is the significance of this? You can see the black soils of India are about the significant regions from the Deccan traps itself. So what is the significance from the agriculture point of view? They are formed with respect to the black soils, and the black soils, the regions have been significantly eroded, the top layer and all, leaving behind the vast deposits of the volcanic ash and all, which are very fertile. And these are crucial for crops like what? Cotton. So agriculturally very conducive. This is the resource potential. Then another significance which you can also have is, because these are vast remnants of such things, you also see that some of the places have some linkage with respect to some hot springs can be seen. Some hot springs can be seen. Some regions which are having it, but very few. You can also see, because they are not in contact with the depth, no, they are not that hotter. So they have been lost the contact, no. So the Reunion Island was still in southern hemisphere. India is now in the northern hemisphere, right? So it happened around 60 million years ago. Then another thing I am telling you, these are the centers of minerals. Minerals. If you see regions like Karnataka, Maharashtra, they are having significant intrusive volcanic features. What is the thing? Maharashtra, Karnataka, okay, Maharashtra and Karnataka have significant volcanic intrusive features. Say the things like dikes, okay, or dikes are nothing but the structures where the lava gets trapped within the interior of the earth. All these are significant sources of what? Minerals. They are the source of minerals. Say iron ore, be it in Maharashtra, be it in Karnataka, be it regions of Goa and all, they are known for significant iron ore minerals, especially manganese. So this is the resource potential of this region, manganese. You will find the things like even certain areas you will also find coal. Certain areas you will also find around bauxite. So bauxite minerals found in the regions of Maharashtra, bauxite. And you will also find around things like mica in some of the places like here, mica is also found. So that is the resource potential. You can see the black soils, you can see the mica here, you can see the manganese ore, and apart from that, what you also find is these are also the centers of what? Studies of significance is studies of climatological studies. Climatological studies of the past. Because when they have erupted, they are the centers of significant smoke which has erupted and all, reasons for changes in the climate of that era and all. So that is also paleoclimatological studies which we say, which will have an understanding with respect to the geological studies. So this is another significant study. So they can create the history of the past. Geographical history, geological history can be understood from the Deccan traps because past is an indicator of the present. Or present is key to the past. If you see the lava traps, if you see the fossils of the dinosaurs, all these are indicating something about that. So present is key to the past. That is an understanding of geology. Also, these are also the centers of, that's why these are the centers of fossils. That is the entire significance of Deccan traps. So what are these Deccan traps? Get to know about the black soils, get to know about the minerals, get to know about how the things like the volcanic features have been created. Hope you all have understood this. You have liked this video, right? So for the PDF and the content associated with Deccan traps, please join in my Telegram channel. You'll get the content of this. Any further queries about this topic, you can always ask in the comments or in my Telegram channel. This is the place where you will get to know about the Deccan traps. Any doubts, Telegram channel is the place where you can always interact with me. Right then, all of you, I hope you all have understood this. Happy learnings, all of you. We'll see you again with tomorrow. Until then, thank you. Jai Hind.